Intoxicating and deceptive microservices. Hello everyone, immense gratitude. We're gonna elaborate the APIs of NestJS. As you know, we're living in the heyday of digital communication with the advent of new development stacks like NestJS and so on. We need to upgrade our knowledge. I have experience on the distributed systems like microservice and the decentralized application like blockchain. I'm going to speak about microservice exclusively based on NestJS framework that could be refined into the lucrative products. Albeit difficult savvy with microservices than monolithic application, we will use them here to gain benefits of them. Before everything, please have a look at on my personal website. It's well situated for exploring. The first my experience on microservices was on the .NET Core. I deployed some of them by using the Rancher and Kubernetes and Docker. You can check it out here. After that, I relinquished .NET Core and then I switched to blockchain and microservices of NestJS and also TypeScript. TypeScript and Rust programming is really significant for me. What the difference between .NET Core microservices and NestJS? If you want to avoid ambiguous, confusing, and convoluted microservices, I encourage you to move forward NestJS without baffling questions. I hope I have persuaded you. In continue, we're going to talk about and to see a practical and pilot sample of microservices in NestJS framework. I provide a free of charge service for you, as you can see here, and I hope it has a attractive quality in the hexagonal architecture. We have a different layer like adapter layer, bounded context, port layer, use cases, and the last is a domain layer. All the business bounded context will function autonomously, and this pattern is really important for us because it would be rudimental and very basic for microservices. So as a prerequisite, you can look at the domain-driven design. We really need architecture to develop our application, obviously. We can't write a code in haphazard way. So the frailty of microservices could be complex programming. It would be totally disruptive if we do not follow a pattern. The project use a CQRS pattern. You can check out the website, how it works, how it will wrap your functionality of code. Eventually, to give interfaces for having a flexible writing code, I can tell you finally, if you want to alter your business plan, you will change or extend the code easily. I hope you conform the roles of microservices, architecture, and principles. It would be a good practice if you look at the sample of .NET Core microservices and read about microservices and different pattern and to understand how it works and how we can deploy it even. After that, I eclectic some of JS projects on the repository of JS family, and we can see some different projects in a different field. For example, NestJS Microservices, you will see some internal projects and it works independent. As a prerequisite of or roadmap, it would be very beneficial if you look at this repository to work on Express.js and to work with CoachDB, for example, NoSQL, and to know how it works. You will find how you can deploy your project on Keyload services without any delay in requests and responses. When I created about 4 years ago, it works and on the Heroku platform, and as you can see, I have a capture image of the building system and it works perfectly, build success. The current project worked based on a monorepo as a smart building system, and we use it here. As you can see, we have two microservices as a user and order. Order is used to order a book or rent a book, everything you call it, or for a loan. And we have also HTTP API gateway for forwarding requests of user to microservices, and then we delve deeper into the microservices. I also placed TCP protocols as a default protocol in NestJS between microservices communication, and I use NATs as a messaging broker. You can install it on your system, and after that you can monitor messaging between microservices. For example, you can see I had a request of HTTP gateway. I also had some request and response among of microservices. You can also look at log systems on your terminal. And when I disconnected the NAT service, I can see here logs of and retire or reconnecting for make a connection again. Passing message between microservices have some risk. So for circumventing the risk, we need to handle it by using event-driven pattern by emitting or sending message as a kind of attributes. Between microservices, there are not any kind of intervention. So every microservices have a isolated state, but they have loosely coupling connections by passing broker mechanism. So you will see how we use NetServer to have a resilient state of events and messages. I ascertain some API here in the Postman, and before we make a request, let me show you the database. We have two tables here. One of them is order and the other is users. We have some column in the order table, for example, a book state type. Book state is an enum in our project, and it will have a number of 1 to 3. 1 means rented books, and the number of 2 shows a state of a rented book. In the table of users, we can see some column, for example, refresh token, and the passport, and some type stamp as a created and updated. Very good. Let me make a request and to see what we can see if we send a request. At the first step, if we want to get information of a user, we will face with this message as an unauthorized user. So before make a request, we need to ascertain parameters of signing in the section of body. Don't forget we have 5 minutes as a expire time of access token. I will copy access token and then add it here at the section of authorization to send a message. It will check the validity of request. Perfect. It shows this user has some order to rent a book, and for example we have here about 10 records, and it shows a user rented 10 books here. We can also execute this request to see all user. The current user that has the sign in shows a refresh token here. Please let me copy ID and make a request to sign out a user. After logout of the system, a user after send a request, we can see we don't have a refresh token. Well, let me sign in again with a new user. For example, the user of 3. Before it, we need to sign in with the, for example, with the admin user, and copy the access token, and then use it here on the header as a bearer token, JWT. When we send a request, we will take out a new ID for user of 3. After sending a request to see all users state and records, we will see refresh token is null for user of admin because we log it out. The important section of our work, it shows how we can create an order, and there is a very important point here. I show you in the section of code. I made a waiting state on the section of a user because I want to make a random delay for requests, because it's commonplace. You may make a request from a system and another system would be in a fault state. So the microservice of A must have a strategy to handle a waiting state. After that, we can have a good communications between microservices of A and microservices of B. So let me show you in the section of order service. I have a function delay here, and I make a random number till 10 seconds. And when I change code because of using a monorepo, I can see change log here. Very good. Let me get back to Postman. I want to make a request for order. Before it, I need to sign in again. I try to log in with the first user as an admin of system, and then I create a order. You will find how it's work. After you ascertain your you have ascertained your body section, you will see we have a new request of a library to rent a book. If I send a new request again, I must wait for it to complete it. Simultaneously, a user want to see the state of a user. We need to complete our parameters. We don't have any issue here. We can see all of the record of books. Let me make a new request to create an order, and we want to see how we can handle a waiting state. For a book of 10, simultaneously another user make a new request to see the state of this user. So after they executed the request, we can see the state of books in queue. That's it. That's it. The book state of or order is 1, and 1 means the book is the state of queue. So we must give it the idea of 0, and then we can see the current book is and we can see the current book is on the order, and it shows this section of new object is in queue. So we made a DTO or a data transfer object with real and inserted data from database, and also we can see in queue orders here. If I send a request again, I can see the book of 10 is inserted here, 11, because the waiting order is finished here. So clients execute APIs simultaneously. For example, when we execute create user API, then another user execute get user ID API abruptly at the moment. It shows sounding results without a discrepancy and flow of outcomes. It would be perfect solution in adverse distributed system conditions to handle complex piping data. I made a waiting state in the designated order service on the layer of repository, and we saw how we can postpone the procedures of calling the API. And after that, we saw the outcomes as a mix of new data and database of data as a DTO. Eventually, I hope all of you see recompense of your endeavors. You will do it fruitfully as well. Please don't hesitate to contact me. You can also be a sponsor to cultivate your work. Good luck and have a good time.